Well, really well done, George. I'm sure you feel you managed that well today. What it did underline is how hard it is to overtake you. So you're going to have to go out and get pole again. If you do, you're pretty confident you can follow up with a Grand Prix win?
Yeah, to be honest, I think it was a well-managed race. You never know in these sprint races how much deg you're going to have, and I knew if there was going to be any overtaking, it would be at the end of the race. I just wanted to manage my tyres in the high-speed corners at the beginning, pulled out a bit of a gap towards the end. But the Ferraris are really strong in the race pace. We saw it in practice, we saw it again today, so let's see tomorrow.
Hey Charles, well, inspired decision it turned out to start on the soft. How satisfied are you with the way you made the best of it when it kind of came good, and how does that bode for the rest of the weekend as well?
Yeah, I mean, I was relatively happy with I was happy with our choice. Then, of course, when you get on the grid and you are the only one with a used soft, you're like, okay, I just hope I judged everything properly, which is tricky on a weekend like this because you're basing yourself on so little data, because we didn't do a long run on the soft, so it's just a bit of intuition and feeling, and it worked out at the end. So I'm happy about our choice. It doesn't affect too much the rest of the weekend. If anything, I think it's putting us in a good place. So we just need to have a good qualifying, which is going to be the most important for tomorrow's race.
Well, Lando, when I heard you were talking about the rears, I thought the sprint's going to feel like a Grand Prix with how the car felt. Like, how was it out there in terms of what you felt with the car?
It was very tough because we were slow, which meant I had to push a lot in the beginning of the race. Of course, I maybe degged a little bit more at the end, but we were just not we don't have the pace comparing to the guys ahead. You know, the last 3-4 laps, they just completely pulled away from me. So I think it shows we don't have the pace this weekend to get the guys. Maybe there's some small chances in qualifying. But it's clear in the race that we struggle a lot in the very slow speed corners, and I wouldn't say this is very similar to Budapest, but Budapest is a lot more medium speed and some high speed. Here is a lot more slow speed, and we're not very good in slow speed, so that was proven today.
Well, I think if we learned anything from that sprint, it's how hard it is to overtake. But speaking to you yesterday, you've got some changes you want to make that you think will improve things for qualifying later.
I hope so, yeah. I mean, the car felt quite good in P1, and then the subtle change and it threw the car really into a different direction in qualifying, in which we carried into the race. So I hope that we can make that change back to something similar we had in P1.
GP spot on with the rain. It just missed you. But listen, how did the car feel today? Are you minded to make many changes for qualifying later, which is clearly very important? That's what we've learned from the sprint.
Yeah, I mean, we already had those things planned. So the sprint was basically just to complete the laps and then make the changes now with the car. I think over one lap it was quite clear that I couldn't keep up. The first few laps on the tyres, I knew they basically drove off. But once the tyre degradation started to kick in, it was a little bit better, I would say. Probably we were a little bit more competitive compared to the top cars. So that was promising maybe. But I got stuck a bit behind Oscar, who was struggling a lot with the rear. So yeah, we will make some changes. I hope that it will help the overall performance of the car. And then we'll see if we can close the gap a little bit.
Kimi, you made a place and not many people did out there, which I suppose means that the emphasis on qualifying is going to mean a lot for the Grand Prix itself.
Yeah, of course. It's a track where deployment is good, so you don't have issues with the battery. So it means it's difficult to overtake. Plus, following is the more you follow, the harder it gets with the tire getting used. So definitely not easy, and that's why qualifying is going to be very important this afternoon.
Good luck, thank you. Well, Oscar, difficult to overtake out there, so we didn't see a whole lot happening at the front. Obviously, you lose a pace off the line. In terms of how the cars are matched, though, Lando unable to keep the Ferrari behind. Are you in a fight with them? Is it still close over race distance between the top three cars, say?
It's tough to know. I mean, I think we didn't look great, especially in the second half of that sprint for both of us. So a little bit surprising, because our one lap pace yesterday, we thought with some slightly better laps for both of us, we could have been on the front row. So a little bit surprising to not have the pace today, but yeah, hopefully we can qualify well and then hang on a bit better tomorrow.
Well, Liam, it's another day of acclimatising, but a decent run out today and good learnings to take into the rest of the weekend, would you say?
Yeah, definitely good learnings. I mean, it's just so hard to overtake here, so had an okay start and a decent first lap, but it was honestly, everyone just felt like stayed where we were, so yeah, it's frustrating when you can't overtake. We also struggled on tyres. I definitely learned a lot about that for tomorrow, so but obviously focus now is on quali.
So Andrea just finished the sprint, obviously finishing P3 and P5 with your drivers. Is that about what you expected or disappointed given the starting positions?
Well, I think we have to admit that our performance so far seems to be better over a single lap than in continuous laps. I think in sprint quali we were in condition to score the pole position, P1, P2 in Q2, but in the sprint race it was more difficult. I think we were losing performance because of rear tire degradation, some low speed performance to improve, so useful information in terms of preparing the remainder of the weekend. And certainly we saw what we've always said, that everyone is very close, and this makes racing quite interesting, but also there's an absolute demand to be perfect from an execution point of view.
So Leclerc starting on the soft tyre, we see that would fall off a little bit but be a challenge at the beginning, whereas actually the inverse happened. It was more strong towards the... Is that your tyre usage throughout the stint, that rear overheating that you mentioned, or is there something more to be learned there?
Well, first of all, when we saw Leclerc gonna use soft, we thought that was ambitious. In fact, it was the only car doing so, but I think they might have been confident in their tire degradation, which indeed appeared to be pretty good in the race. Difficult to say, we will see more tomorrow. When it comes to ourselves, I think the used medium was the right tire, like majority, and I think it was definitely the tires to be. We need to look as to why we had so much rear tire degradation, which rather than compound might have to do with car setup and overall driving style. So certainly a few variables that we need to look into and optimize for the rest of the weekend.
So aside from this, my final question, aside from the changes that maybe to do with tire degradation, are the drivers pretty comfortable, or do you think you need dramatic changes going into the qualifying this afternoon?
Definitely, be careful. Definitely quite comfortable in terms of new tires, new tire space, and a qualifying pace, I would say, until this moment. We will see in the coming qualifying session. But definitely, drivers-wise, they were not entirely happy with the behavior of the car in the sprint. Lando said that already mid-sprint, that the rear tire were difficult, and in the radio communication with Oscar and in the data we could see that there were some issues going on with the rear tire. So a clear objective, hopefully we will be able to improve.
Right, good luck this afternoon.
The Mercedes garage, thanks to Toto Wolff, keeping us warm. My God, it's significantly different this side of the red line. Much warmer, thank you.
Much better?
Warmer.
Yeah, that's why I took you in. I saw you shaking, so this is a nicer place here.
Congratulations, a strong day yesterday for George, and did exactly what he needed to today. It's good for him, isn't it? He kind of needed this.
Yeah, I think the car is coming now, I think. Can we go closer in, or we need to go out?
I think we probably have to go
come
out.
over here.
Oh, got to make way for the car. Shame.
Karoon, come on.
Look, I'll give you an insight now in the car.
Oh, yeah, good.
Yeah, it looks like...
Karen, so can you describe what you see there on the car?
It's black, it's silver, it's fast.
It has 4 tires.
4 tires.
It smells good as well.
It smells good as well.
It smells good as well, yeah. That's the special Petronas smell. You know, they blend it with some perfume.
Yeah.
So it's nice for in here.
Just reflect on George's day yesterday and his ability to translate that into another victory today in the sprint.
It's good because he had his fair share of bad luck, and then coming back from the summer break and putting it on pole for the baby race, and then winning it today is a good start of the weekend.
You've got to say there's been a lot of talk about whether Kimi can continue this on and hold it until the end of the season, but I guess the real question was, will George be able to turn it around? He's off to a pretty good start, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. it's not a lot of points you collect in that race, but still it's a good boost of confidence, I guess.
Can I ask about Kimi yesterday? Obviously a scrappy start to qualifying when he went off in Q1, but he's normally pretty good at resetting and going again. He was always a little bit behind George. What lessons have you come out of that for him to take to the main qualifying this afternoon?
I think if you have a scare like he had in that last corner, banking high speed, and you almost lose the car, maybe you then, that's in the back of your mind for the rest of qualifying. And you don't want to throw it away. So I think that will be reset for today. He drove a really clever race, also not risking it for 1 point. And I'm very happy for how the two have done it, especially George winning.
Talking of resets, how do you change gears now as a team to go back into quali mode, mentally more than anything?
I think they will be. Everybody's absolutely on it at the moment. The drivers, the mechanics, and therefore don't need to push them. They push themselves very hard themselves.
But I think this race probably proved that track position here is very, very important. Obviously, as you said, Kimi probably not risking it for a point, but it wasn't exactly easy to find a spot to get past, even though it seemed like he had more space, more pace.
Yeah, you saw with Leclerc, he was able to, deploy his energy in a good way and overtake Norris. And I think for tomorrow, maybe it's not going to be easier, but I guess with the pit stops and taking a little bit more risk for big points, that's going to be looking a little bit better. But Zandvoort always was a difficult track to overtake.
Can I just take a step back from the on-track stuff and ask you, are you relieved that nobody's going to be asking about Max now for a little while? Are you happy that conversation's gone?
I think most important was that we had the clarity in the team since a long time. We're committed to George and Kimi, and in a way, that was just a logic consequence, I guess. What happened now? Silly season is officially cancelled now, and everybody concentrate on the racing.
I mean, we call it silly season, but jokes aside, you've always been a massive admirer of Max. Is there a little part of you that's disappointed he's committed his future for so long to Red Bull?
No, not at all. I mean, we know each other well, and with Kimi and George, it's the perfect setup that we have and the perfect lineup. So there's no disappointment.
Just one quick word on this track. You haven't won here in the modern era. Is that going to change on Sunday?
I would very much hope so. We need big points. Kimi's going to probably lose some in Monza. We're starting in the back, so hopefully we can pocket some here.
And last question before you go, can I have your jacket?
You want the jacket? I can give it to you.
Absolutely. Can't have any bias towards the team. You keep it on. No, I'm definitely joking.
I would have given it to you.
You are ever the gentleman. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, let's hear from one of your drivers now, Kimi Antonelli.
Yeah, we have listened to interviews, post-sprint, race interviews, and as you know, as always, I have some notes on my mobile phone, and I'm going to read them all, and hopefully to wait to see what will happen at the qualifying. And as you know, tomorrow we are going to have a Grand Prix. We are going to start with the championship leader Kimi Antonelli. Fourth place wasn't quite the result Mercedes hoped for after showing so much speed this weekend, but the fourth for the championship, it was another productive afternoon. Antonelli leaves the sprint with his advantage growing to 53 points over Lewis Hamilton. And after his big rival moment during the sprint qualifying yesterday, bringing the car home fourth and collecting more points was important. Behind him, Oscar Piastri finished at fifth. McLaren expected to challenge Mercedes much more strongly today, but both drivers struggled to convert their Friday speed into the sprint, and with Norris losing second to Leclerc, McLaren now has some homework before qualifying. Then we have Max Verstappen sixth at Zandvoort in front of the Orange Army. Definitely not what Max Verstappen wanted. The Red Bull simply hasn't looked comfortable throughout this weekend, and once again Verstappen struggled to get close enough to genuinely attack the leading cars. The big question now is whether Red Bull can find something between the sprint and the qualifying, because if Max qualifies around 6th again, winning his final scheduled Dutch Grand Prix becomes extremely difficult. Lewis Hamilton finished 7th, and Ferrari's situation is fascinating. Leclerc finished 2nd and showed excellent race pace. Hamilton couldn't produce the same performance. That means Ferrari clearly has a competitive cut, but Lewis still needs to unlock more from it. Pierre Gasly took the final sprint point in 8th. That's an encouraging result from Alpine after bringing developments to his car this weekend. Further back, Gabriel Bolton narrowly missed the points in 9th, while Arven Lindblad completed the top 10. And Liam Lawson, his Red Bull return remains one of the biggest stories in the paddock. Nobody expected miracles immediately, but every lap alongside Verstappen is being analyzed, and with the Red Bull still refusing to rush its decision about the future. Lawson, no performance like this weekend could be extremely important. Yuki Tsunoda meanwhile is going to show his own adjustment after suddenly returning to the Racing Bull. For both drivers, this weekend is effectively being treated as an accelerated learning exercise. Elsewhere, Williams still hasn't found the performance it expected around the Zandvoort. Aston Martin fans an even bigger recovery job, and a lot of more at the interviews that we had listen after a sprint race. And as I said before this video, also we're going to have a sprint also we are going to have the qualifying press conference and the interviews in our channel. Just don't forget to like this video, to comment it, and to subscribe to our channel to not to miss any of these kind of videos.